display show award.
Hey, welcome to Historic Investments and the May 2022 Ohio Gun Collectors Association display show. Very pleased to introduce Joe Carter, who's got just a fantastic collection of Stevens rifles. In fact, these are some of the best Stevens rifles possibly in the world. Joe, why don't you tell us something about your display? And again, thank you so much for coming all the way from Tennessee to this display show.
It's my pleasure. Actually, my collection consists of 17 that I've brought. They consist of all the numbers that Stevens produced from like 1895 until 1916. I have an example of all the numbers from the number 48 through the model 56 and even the Pope models. So now they made models prior to the 48, but from the 48 through the Pope models, I have an example of all of them here at this display.
Well, Joe, every collector's got a favorite gun, and it's just like almost everyone's got a favorite child, whether they'll admit it or not. But anyway, you've got a lot of children here. Which one is your favorite?
Actually, it would be this rifle right here. It's a Stevens Ideal number 54. And there are no Stevens factory records available, but we can document when this rifle was actually made by the original test target that I have where it was tested at the factory.
So for all of these single-shot rifles, the factory did have test targets for every one originally, or just some special order ones?
They're higher grade rifles. They were guaranteed to shoot a certain size group, and if they didn't meet that guarantee, they would work on them until they did, I assume. But this is a model, or a number 54, and it has a Stevens Pope 3240 muzzle loading barrel, and it also has a second barrel in 22 short, which is also a Stevens Pope, and it's
Now, and you know that because the Pope barrels are specially marked, is that
they
correct? Maybe you
They
can show us where to look for the markings later on.
They are marked on top. They're marked Stevens Pope, manufactured by J. Stevens Arms and Tool Company. So
And both of these barrels have the same marking.
They
because
are.
They were sold as a set.
that is correct, and they're within two or three numbers of each other. So they are both Stevens Pope barrels. Also, it has what's referred to as Pope scope mounts.
And maybe explain that. What makes up a scope Pope mount?
They were designed by H.M. Pope, who at this point in time was working inside the Stevens factory. He worked for Stevens. His tenure was for 5 years. It's debatable where he stayed the whole 5 years or not. But H.M. Pope was the best known barrel maker at that point in history. So he went into the Stevens factory, and he had accessories that he had designed himself, and the Pope scope mounts being one of them. And they mount in half moon cuts on the barrel.
Okay.
But this
Are the mounts otherwise identified as Stevens Pope mounts?
they're not marked.
Okay, but they're the only ones that look like that.
Well, others made mounts that mounted in half cuts, but they're not like Pope's design.
Okay.
If you're a student and study them, then you can tell if they're Pope's or if they are actually someone else's. In addition, we have a letter from the original owner who, at a later date, had correspondence back with Pope, actually after he had left the factory. But this is in like 1938, and the rifle was made in 1905. So it's a letter from the original owner asking if the barrel could be rechambered from short. to long rifle.
I mean, the documentation for this rifle, I mean, the rifle itself is phenomenal in terms of condition, but the accessories and the documentation is it's just phenomenal. I mean, I don't know how many other rifles like this have got their test targets from that period, but just that is probably almost as scarce as the rifle, isn't it?
Maybe more so.
More so.
Maybe more so. And it also has the tools with it. When I say tools, I'm talking about a bullet mold. I'm talking about a grease pump. It's referred to as a grease pump, but it put the lubricant in the lead cast bullet, and then the re and decapper. It actually took the primer out of the old case and then put a new primer back in the case. Because people that were shooting these rifles usually used one case for each shot. They would use the same case.
They'd reload it. Okay, how long did that take? Reloading the
2 or
cases
3 minutes,
between
probably.
shots.
2 or 3 minutes.
So we're really looking at probably not only an extraordinary rifle, but also from a practical standpoint, extraordinary in terms of function.
That's
so you've
correct.
got condition, engraving, provenance, and function. That's fantastic. Well, on that note, I probably should leave. Otherwise, we'd probably be spending the whole afternoon talking about your favorite rifle here. But anyway, Joe, thank you very much. And but I should ask you, Brent, before parting, is what made you decide to come here from Tennessee? I mean, how long have you been a member of OGCA, and why this show in particular?
I've been a member of the Ohio Gun Collectors for several years now, and I'm a banker by trade. I finally retired 3 years ago, and I had some time, so this is something I'd always wanted to do, and now that I have the time, I just decided it was time.
Well, has being a member here helped you out with your collection?
Oh, sure.
Did you find that rifle at an OGCA show?
No.
Did you get the lead for it at
But
OGCA?
I did this one.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. Well, listen, Joe, thank you very much. A real pleasure, and thanks for agreeing to visit with us and be part of the OGCA archival collection.
My pleasure.